What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Luke Embers and today we have a nice fun video where we will be replacing the boards on my fire knife. So this fire knife I got from Mikaele Oloa, who's a 5-time world champion fire knife dancer, and the way that this knife works is that you add boards of wood onto the ends and that's what lights up. Most competitive fire knife dancers use a boarded knife, but you can also use Kevlar, which is a more sustaining type of material. There's more durability and less maintenance, but the flame doesn't last as long. I talk more about this in depth in my newsletter that you guys should sign up for. Link will be in the description below. But anyways, I'm just gonna be changing my boards out and kind of show you guys the process on what's that like. So without further ado, let's get to it. So here we have our fire knife, and what we gotta do first is remove the metal wires that are keeping the current boards in place. We're just gonna cut them off. You just want to be careful because you don't want to poke yourself with these wires. All right, so this is kind of what it looks like without the boards on. Clearly burned off and everything like that. It's kind of cool. All right, so we have that end. I'm gonna just try to keep all the metal pieces away because you don't want that poking you or stabbing you. But yeah, look at kind of how burned these are. So yeah, so honestly, these are probably reusable. For now, I'm not gonna use them for this knife. I'm gonna keep them on the side. I just wanna make sure that I have a fresh set of boards on and that, you know, the flames are roughly the same. So then I'm just gonna do it on the other side too. All right, so these are also the bottoms of the knife. They're not completely burned off. The ones at the bottom at least are. So these are actually pretty reusable, and so I think I'm gonna actually reuse them for the set. Typically on the end, on the butt, you're gonna use maybe 5 or 6 boards depending on how much you can fit between where the holes are to wrap the wire. And then on the top side, depending on preferences, you can have either 1 board on each side or 2 on each side. But I'm gonna put 2 on each side and then 6 on the bottom. So because I'm reusing these, I'm gonna have 3 more. It's kind of what it looks like. These are what unburned boards look like at the bottom. So you can tell that these are still usable because of the thickness. Put the burned boards over on the end. So now that we have them off, we're gonna add boards to the head first. All right, so what you wanna do is you wanna grab your new set of boards. These boards I get from Maugamu, which is Mikaele's company. These are awesome. I bought these in Colorado when I was at his workshop, which is really cool. So what you want to do is you want to have metal wire. This is stainless steel wire. What I want to try to do is use the length of my hand to measure how much wire I need. So I basically want to use the tip of my middle finger to the bottom of my wrist. About this much should be good. I'm gonna mark it and then I'm gonna cut it. So we have that, we have 1, and then we're gonna do it again. Depending on the size of your hands, you may need to, you know, add more or remove some, but at least for my hand, it's roughly the right length. All right, so next up, what you wanna do is you grab your wire and you wanna make kind of like a U shape. And you wanna make sure that the wire is even on both ends, on both sides. Something like that. So what you wanna do is you wanna put your boards kind of to the side of the line of holes. You're gonna put the wire into one end over the boards. And then you are gonna try to line up the boards so that you're able to put the second or the other end of the wire into the hole on the other side. So it should look something like that. As you can see, I'm kind of pushing the wire in so that it's wrapping over the top of the boards. And then on the bottom, you should see both of them poking out like this. You kind of want to pull them through so that they get tightened up. And then you're going to flat them out to the side as such. All right, that's the first pair of holes. We're going to do the same for the second to last set of holes. What you want to do is turn it over, make a U, or roughly a U. This is the ugliest U I've seen. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to funnel the wires through. You're going to pull. And then you're going to flatten them out like that. Try to make sure, again, that it's tight on the bottom, that the wire is hugging the boards like this. Cool. Sweet. Now what you're gonna do next is you're gonna grab your second pair of boards. You're gonna place it at the top of the other side of the knife. Then you're gonna grab the wires and kind of twist them a little bit together. Do them for both. Right, from there, you want to grab a set of pliers and tighten them. Right, you do the same thing for the second set. And notice how there's kind of some extra wire on the top. If that ever happens, you can always just trim it with more pliers. So the tops should be tight, but what you want to do is actually flip it over and see the flat metal parts of the wire. You want to do that and twist it so that it tightens on the side as well. So see how it's kind of tightened up now? I've twisted the end of the wire so that it kind of bends and tightens on top of the board. To prevent any risk of stabbing yourself with these extra ends, you just want to bend them inward towards the boards. So now we have one end done. Nice and easy, just like that. And notice how if you try to move it, it's super secure so that it won't, move around too much in place. Next, we will do the butt end. All right, so what you want to do is turn it over, get your boards in, fit them into the rod. And you want to try to line them just underneath the hole at the top, and then add as many as you need to fill up space. Okay, so you can just barely see the hole at the top, and then you can just barely see the hole at the bottom. So this should be just the right amount of boards to use for the bottom. Get a decent amount of wire so that you're able to get it to both sides. This should be just the right amount. Now you want to find the bottom hole and pull one side of the wire in, and do the same for the other. You want to then pull it tight, kind of bring them together like that, and then you want to tighten it. Okay. And just like the other side, if you have any excess wire, bend it in, and then you can also actually tuck it into the rest of the wire. There you go. So now you should feel, pretty secure for the most part, and should be tucked in. looks good. Now there may be some slight spacing here that'll shift, but it should be secure, and that's also because the thickness of the boards on this side aren't necessarily the same because these were burned off a little bit, so it may not fit perfectly, but it should be, for the most part, solid. As long as you don't feel like it's gonna come off at all, then that's all that matters. All right, so finally rewired the knife. Looks nice and clean, nice and secure, nicely fastened, and now it's ready to be lit up. So that's all I got for you. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that it gave you a little bit of insight how fire dancers prepare for their performances. And yeah, like always, be what remains, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.